Welcome to this timeless wisdom of Seneca, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers from ancient Rome. Seneca's thoughts and teachings, composed nearly 2,000 years ago, hold invaluable lessons that continue to guide how we live, think, and respond to life's challenges today. Lucius Annaeus Seneca, often simply called Seneca the Younger, was a philosopher, statesman, dramatist, and advisor to the Roman Emperor Nero. Despite his political career's complexities, Seneca devoted much of his life to philosophical letters and essays centered around Stoicism, a school of thought that teaches the art of living in harmony with nature and reason. Seneca's insights on the human mind remain profoundly relevant, especially in an age dominated by constant information and emotional upheaval. He famously remarked, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This statement highlights a Stoic cornerstone. Most of our distress comes not from external events themselves, but from how our mind interprets and reacts to them. Through Stoicism, Seneca teaches that although we cannot always control what happens, we can control our judgments, perceptions, and responses. Anxiety, fear, and anger often arise because we exaggerate potential threats or obsess over outcomes we cannot influence. This mental tendency magnifies suffering unnecessarily. So, practically speaking, Seneca encourages a continuous inner dialogue. Become aware of your thoughts and, challenge those negative or irrational ones. This practice actually resembles techniques used in modern cognitive behavioral therapy, which really shows just how ahead of his time Seneca truly was. Taking a moment to reframe stressful situations allows the mind to avoid spinning out of control. One particularly helpful tool Seneca advocates is premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This means basically imagining possible difficulties calmly beforehand and preparing mentally on how to respond wisely. Going through this process builds courage and, reduces the shock when adversity arrives, rather than letting emotional impulses dictate our reactions. Importantly, mastering the mind does not mean suppressing emotions altogether. Instead, it's really about understanding and managing them through reason. Just as a skilled captain does not control the ocean's waves, but masters the ship's course, we gain freedom by directing our inner world. Through this mental mastery, you build resilience, develop tranquility, and foster a clear perspective. In a modern environment filled with stress and uncertainty, Seneca's guidance on the power of the mind is a timeless resource for emotional well-being. Seneca taught that the secret to a fulfilling life lies largely in the wise use of time. According to him, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. In our hyper-connected modern world, distractions from smartphones, social media, multitasking, and endless commitments make it easy to drift away from what truly matters. The present moment is the only time we truly possess. Seneca emphasized mindfulness long before it became a mainstream concept, urging mindful attention to how our time is spent. Whether in work, rest, or moments with loved ones, devoting full attention enriches experiences and provides a sense of purpose. Seneca warned against procrastination and idleness, pointing out that many people never fully live because their minds are elsewhere, or stuck in regrets about the past and anxieties about the future. According to him, only by embracing the present can we make life genuinely long and meaningful. Contemporary research reinforces Seneca's advice with findings that being present reduces stress and improves well-being. Mindfulness practices, which often echo Stoic reflection, help train the brain to stay focused and non-judgmental during daily activities. Additionally, Seneca believed that reflecting on death, the finite nature of life, helps us fully appreciate each moment. When we view time as precious and limited, we are compelled to use it intentionally. So, some practical ways to embrace the present include setting distraction-free periods to really focus deeply on important activities, practicing mindfulness meditation, and, regularly reviewing your priorities to avoid being swept away by trivial concerns. By following Seneca's teaching to live in the present, you actually gain a deeper appreciation for life's richness and, honestly, a stronger sense of control over your own happiness. In a world full of uncertainty and turmoil, Seneca's emphasis on tranquility offers a pretty profound way to maintain inner peace, no matter what's going on around you. The Stoic approach teaches us that true tranquility isn't the absence of challenges, but the ability to remain calm and composed through reasoned acceptance. Seneca famously observed, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." This powerful statement suggests that peace of mind depends largely on our attitude toward changing fortunes. When we fix our happiness on external things, any loss can disrupt our serenity. Instead, tranquility emerges from cultivating an understanding of what is within our control, mainly our own thoughts and actions, and accepting what lies beyond. This acceptance is not resignation, but a conscious choice to respond with wisdom and calm. Seneca advises mental preparation for difficulties by imagining them beforehand. This practice lessens the shock of unexpected events and helps keep emotions balanced. It builds a mental immune system to adversity. Additionally, Seneca promotes moderation and self-discipline as safeguards of tranquility. Excessive indulgence inflames the mind, while balanced living fosters stability. Perhaps most importantly, Seneca encourages focusing on internal virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, qualities that provide a firm foundation immune to external volatility. In our fast-paced modern world, full of relentless challenges and emotional overload, the Stoic art of tranquility remains deeply relevant. Through mastering inner acceptance and rational judgment, you can harbor peace within, no matter what storms rage outside. So, Seneca's praise of simplicity and moderation, really challenges the consumer culture that's so common today. He believed that this endless craving for material wealth and pleasures actually brings more anxiety than contentment. Instead, he suggested that peaceful living comes from a life that's simplified and, desires that are moderated. He famously said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This honestly is a profound insight that kind of turns our usual way of thinking upside down. Wealth isn't measured by how much you own, but by your ability to be content with having enough. By consciously choosing simplicity, you actually reduce distractions and burdens, making space, mentally, for reflection, and real joy. Seneca himself experienced both luxury and exile, and through those contrasts, he realized that neither one is the key to happiness. Moderation extends beyond possessions to emotions, consumption, and daily habits. Avoiding extremes, helps maintain balance and protects against the anxieties linked to overindulgence. This philosophy really resonates with various modern trends, such as minimalism and sustainability, which encourage mindful consumption to improve well-being and protect the environment. Living simply also nurtures gratitude and honestly detaches happiness from external outcomes, making life less fragile and more resilient. Practically, the wisdom of simplicity can be applied by decluttering your surroundings, reducing unnecessary commitments, and, prioritizing experiences and relationships over possessions. By adopting Seneca's advice on simplicity and moderation, you work toward a richer, more satisfying life grounded in what truly matters. Adversity is, an unavoidable part of existence, but Seneca's philosophy offers a robust framework for coping with hardship and, honestly, emerging stronger. He teaches that resilience is not simply enduring pain but transforming it into an opportunity for growth and virtue. Stoicism holds that suffering itself is neutral. It is our interpretation and response that either weaken or strengthen us. Seneca encourages us to face difficulties head-on, with courage and rationality, rather than avoiding or lamenting them. One practical Stoic method is the premeditation of evils, a mental rehearsal where you calmly visualize possible misfortunes and imagine how you would respond. This exercise really trains your mind to remain composed and creates readiness that negates fear's power. Moreover, Seneca highlights attitude as the decisive factor in resilience. You cannot always choose your circumstances, but you always choose your response. Meeting hardship with patience, wisdom, and dignity turns suffering into a source of wisdom. This philosophy mirrors modern resilience training and cognitive reframing techniques used in psychology. By changing perspective on difficulties, they lose their power to debilitate. Seneca's belief that fire tests gold, adversity tests strong men, reminds us that challenges refine character. Instead of seeing suffering as a curse, you learn to view it as an essential dimension of personal development. Adopting this mindset means you face life's inevitable hardships without despair, but with hope and determination. This inner strength is a hallmark of a truly empowered life. The practice of gratitude and contentment. Gratitude and contentment are cornerstones of Seneca's approach to happiness. In contrast to endless yearning and dissatisfaction, he teaches that appreciating what you already have nurtures peace of mind and joy. Seneca often advises shifting attention from what is missing to what is present. He reminds us that contentment comes from within, not from external possessions or status. Modern research aligns perfectly with this ancient wisdom. Gratitude improves mental health, fosters stronger relationships, and even boosts physical well-being. Practical application includes daily reflection on moments or aspects you are thankful for: health, friendship, nature, learning. Keeping a gratitude journal or pausing intentionally during the day creates this habit. Seneca also warns against the dangers of envy and unhealthy comparison, which poison contentment. Instead, he recommends focusing on your own journey and cultivating self-acceptance. Gratitude also fosters humility, recognizing that many good things are gifts rather than entitlements. This sense of humility deepens connection to others and cultivates kindness. Importantly, contentment does not mean complacency. Seneca encourages a balanced mindset that finds happiness in the present while responsibly seeking growth. By embracing gratitude and contentment, you protect yourself from the restlessness of insatiable desire and cultivate a richer, more peaceful life grounded in appreciation. The role of friendship and community. Seneca valued friendship not just as a source of pleasure, but as essential to personal growth and a virtuous life. According to Stoic teachings, humans are naturally social creatures created to live in community. True friendship is built on trust, virtue, and mutual support, not convenience or superficial benefits. In our modern world, where loneliness and social fragmentation are common, Seneca's emphasis on meaningful relationships reminds us of their importance. Genuine friendships provide emotional support, wisdom, and accountability essential for navigating life's challenges. Seneca encourages choosing friends carefully and nurturing those relationships with honesty, empathy, and generosity. True friendship requires effort, but yields profound rewards. Friendship also strengthens resilience by offering companionship in difficulties and an environment for honest reflection and encouragement. Beyond individual friendships, Seneca places importance on fulfilling social roles and contributing to the wider community. Virtuous living includes responsibility toward others, fostering harmony and cooperation. This teaching reminds us today that no one thrives in isolation. Investing in authentic relationships enriches life more than wealth or status ever could. Seneca's wisdom elevates friendship to a foundational role in creating a life of virtue, meaning, and fulfillment. On death and the meaning of life, Seneca confronted death not with fear but with a firm embrace as an integral part of life. He believed reflecting on mortality is a powerful motivator for living intentionally and with courage. A central Stoic message is that death is neither to be feared nor avoided. It is a natural end and outside our control. Instead of wasting energy on fearing death, we should focus on living virtuously within the time we are given. Seneca famously wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life's value is found not in its length but in how we live." Awareness of our finite time sharpens focus on what truly matters. Acknowledging death invites us to prioritize wisdom, virtue, meaningful relationships, and contribution over fleeting desires. It encourages us to live each day as though it might be the last, not in despair, but in gratitude and intention. Seneca's reflections align with modern existential philosophy and psychology, which emphasize mortality awareness to deepen life meaning and reduce anxiety. By normalizing death and understanding it as part of life's cycle, Seneca's teachings free us from paralyzing fear and enable a courageous, focused existence. This acceptance of mortality becomes a wellspring of clarity and peace, guiding purposeful living in the present. Applying Seneca's wisdom. Today, practical tips. As we conclude this explorative journey into Seneca's timeless wisdom, it's vital to translate these philosophical insights into concrete actions you can take to enrich your daily life. Firstly, practice controlling your reactions. When faced with stressful situations, pause to identify what is within your control, your thoughts and actions, and focus there rather than fixating on uncontrollable events. Secondly, cultivate mindfulness to live in the present. Simplify your environment, reduce multitasking, and give full attention to your current activity to deepen experience and reduce anxiety. Thirdly, embrace simplicity and moderation by curbing excessive consumption, decluttering physical and mental space, and appreciating what you have. Fourth, prepare yourself mentally for adversity through Stoic exercises like premeditation of evils. Visualize challenges calmly and outline your response strategies to boost resilience. Fifth, cultivate gratitude daily by reflecting on your blessings, whether big or small, to foster contentment and joy. Sixth, nurture meaningful relationships. Invest time and honesty in friendships and community, recognizing social connection as a source of strength and fulfillment. Seventh, reflect regularly on mortality to inspire intentional living and clarify your values and priorities. Finally, seek to embody Stoic virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Prioritize internal qualities over external success or approval. Seneca's philosophy is not an abstract doctrine, but a practical guide for transforming mindset and behavior. By incorporating these lessons, you empower yourself to face life's challenges with clarity, calm, and purpose, cultivating a resilient and fulfilling existence. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the timeless wisdom of Seneca. May his insights inspire and guide you toward a life of virtue, tranquility, and joy every day.